Hey, Ann, it's so nice to meet you. My name's Adam.
Hi. No offense, but I'm only really here for my family. I hope you don't mind me having this nearby today, but I've been having trouble breathing.
No, I don't mind at all.
Good.
Well, like I said, my name's Adam, and I'm here to review your situation at your family's request.
At my stepdaughter's request, my sons would never bother me with this.
Well, you're correct, it is your stepdaughter's, but I think she's just a little worried about you, especially after the fall you had.
Fine, whatever. Let's make this quick. I have more important things to do.
Okay, well, thanks for your time.
All right.
Now, I was hoping today we could get to know each other a little bit and cover a few basic questions. Before we do that, though, I want to make sure that you understand that this conversation is only going to be between me and maybe my supervisor, depending on if I need his advice or something like that. The exception of this is if you say you're going to hurt someone or if you're going to hurt yourself. But other than that, it's strictly just us and maybe my supervisor.
Okay. Well, if it gets Maggie on off my back, then yeah, this is fine with me.
Okay, then just start off with a simple one. How are you feeling?
That's your first question? I was expecting you to ask me about, I don't know, my hoarding, my relationship with Maggie, my fall, all of the above.
We can talk about those things eventually, but like I said, this is just a chance for us to get to know each other. So anything you want to talk about is fine.
Okay, and no one's gonna know what I say?
No one except me and possibly my supervisor.
Okay. Then I think I want to talk about Maggie.
Okay.
She just makes me so mad. She's always trying to control my life, despite me never ever asking her to.
How do you mean?
Oh, I'm sure she already told you about me.
Well, I heard her point of view. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, since my son has died, she's treated me as really nothing more than a burden. She's always complaining about my so-called hoarding and how it affects her and my grandson. But I don't think my grandson feels that way.
Why do you say that?
Because she feels like she has to control everything. She made me move out because she said things were too tense around the house. I did, and then that didn't even seem like it was good enough. She kept complaining about how I lived then in my place after I moved out, which she told me to do. I think me falling was just an excuse for her to send someone over here to tell me what to do. No offense.
No, you don't have to apologize. I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you. No one else will listen to me. Clearly I'm fine, and I've survived a lot worse than a little fall in my long life.
Well, you're a very strong woman, Annie. Maybe you should try and meet with Maggie, talk about this?
She won't listen. She never listens.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, just keep in mind you have the option to. It may not really change how she views things, but at least you'll be able to get your thoughts off your chest.
I doubt I'll do that, but I do appreciate the suggestion.
No problem. Is this how family interactions are in your family in general? You have 2 sons, don't you?
Yeah, but they respect me, and they listen to when I say I don't need any help. They know that as far as my sons are concerned, I'm in charge with what happens.
I see, so you have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, the best actually. Basically because they let me live my life. I didn't even really want to live with Maggie, but I did it for my son, and then she went and kicked me out.
I thought you really didn't want to live with her in the first place.
I didn't. I did want to move out, but I wasn't really given the option of doing it so much as I felt like I was forced to.
I see. Do you like this neighborhood?
It's definitely not as nice as Maggie's, but it's comfortable, and the neighborhood does seem really nice.
And you're able to support yourself alone?
Oh yeah, Social Security helps, and I've saved a lot of money over the years.
Well, as long as you're living comfortably, that's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
How is your health?
Is this because of the oxygen intake?
No, I ask it of all my clients, and I know your fall wasn't that severe, so it's just a general question. Do you feel okay talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right if you ask everyone.
It is. Thanks for sharing. So how are you doing then, health-wise?
I'm fine. I mean, except for my breathing problems, and I do have diabetes.
Do you follow your doctor's orders in regards to that?
I follow what they tell me to do. I know how to take care of myself.
Sorry, didn't mean to imply otherwise. I just wanted to make sure you're able to support your services since you're not currently working.
Yeah, I mean, I have Medicare and Social Security, plus Maggie helps me with any other copay.
That's very nice of her. Maybe she respects you more than you think.
Maybe.
Also, I noticed a car up front and it's filled with fast food.
Yeah, it's hard to miss that one. I assume you're worried about how I eat.
Just a little since you have diabetes.
I know, but I enjoy how I eat, and I still do what the doctor says when it comes to everything else. I'm an old lady. I should get to eat what I want.
I'm not gonna argue with you about that. You're totally right. Just keep in mind that it can hurt you if you do that too much.
Yeah, I know.
Well, either way, you seem extremely independent and able to take care of yourself.
And here I was, worried that we wouldn't agree on anything.
So it seems like you're really not having an issue with your living situation.
No?
Then I have one more question, if that's okay.
Okay, just one more.
What was your son like, the one who passed away? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, it's fine. I always like talking about him. I just wasn't expecting that question.
I totally understand. Are you sure you want to talk about him?
Yeah, like I said, I enjoy talking about him.
Okay, well, start wherever you like.
My son was a very patient and kind man. He was always willing to listen and help out other people. Sometimes he even went out of his way to do so. That's, of course, not to say that he never had a bad day, but in the end, he would always make a joke, smile, and just get back to his life. I was always so proud of him for that. I could never figure out where he got it from, though. I'm not that nice, and he certainly didn't get it from his father. Sometimes I think the stress of always being relied on is what caused him to pass away the way he did.
How did he pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
A heart attack. No one saw it coming, so no one was prepared for it. Certainly not Maggie.
What do you mean?
Well, she was with him when it happened. She panicked for a while before calling the ambulance, and he died on his way to the emergency room.
Do you think Eddie's responsible for that? I'm sorry, I meant Maggie.
Yes, no, I don't know. It just hurts so much when it happened, and it still hurts. It was after that when things started growing tense with me and Maggie.
Did you ever talk about it?
No, why would we? She never listens. I'm sorry, I don't feel like talking about it anymore.
That's okay. I know this must be hard for you. Would you like to talk later?
What do you mean?
Well, we can have another meeting next week if you'd like. It doesn't have to be a one-time thing.
Well, I do have to admit this was easier than I thought it would be. And it's nice having someone to talk to who doesn't feel like is judging me. Sure, I can go through at least one more of these meetings.
So is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Also, was going to ask if it's okay if I would talk about this meeting with my supervisor, just to go over the basics of the interview.
He'll be the only one to know, right?
Yes, I promise.
Okay, then sure.
No problem. What day works out for our second interview?
Same day and time, if that's okay.
Sounds good. I'll see you on Friday then.
Thank you.
Thanks for meeting me today.
Yeah.
Well, after my first meeting with Anne, she definitely seemed a little reluctant at the beginning, though she seemed to warm up to it. When going over the things that are bothering her, she didn't seem to much worry about her health, and I kind of realized that the things I saw, I kind of made an assumption about, given that I saw the fast food and the pen. But I mean, she seems to be taking care of herself, and that's really what's important. The thing I think it's important to focus on is that she seems to have maybe some unresolved feelings about her son, and I think that might play a part into her and Maggie's relationship. It can lead to some tense situations, and I think that's worth exploring in the next meeting. I'm also going to talk with my supervisor and see what she thinks before I just want to make sure this is right, because I know children death is a delicate subject. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope the next meeting goes well. Hello again, Ann.
Hi again, Adam. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you again too.
Thanks. I'm gonna be using my oxygen tank again today, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to tell me that anymore. I understand.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to start off our second meeting by telling you my supervisor overlooked our meeting, our first one, and had a couple of suggestions in regard to it.
Meaning,
He thought you were maybe still suffering for some grief.
is that what you think?
It's a possibility. What's really important, though, is what you think.
I think it's a possibility too, actually. Before the last meeting, I would have said no, for sure. But I've been thinking about my son a lot ever since our last talk.
How do you mean?
Well, I've just been upset, remembering all our times together, all the memories we have.
Do you think you'd like to talk to someone about that?
You don't count?
No, I meant someone a little more qualified.
Like a shrink? I'm not crazy.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that you were. It's just that even though you have me to talk to, there are definitely people who are more qualified, like I said. I mean, this has been helpful to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, very much so far. I'm just not sure how talking to someone else is gonna help.
Well, I mean, just a quick question. Have you tried talking to Maggie about these feelings?
No. What does that have to do with anything?
I think that may be one of the reasons you're so upset. You seemed even a little bit angry at her last week. In regards to your son, I mean.
Are you saying I should talk to her?
Do you want to?
Last week I would have said no also, but I've been thinking a lot about her too. I may not like how she treats me, but she was a good wife to my son and is a good mother to my grandson.
Seems like you do respect her.
Yeah, in that regard, yes.
Well, maybe I'm someone to talk to, help you sort out your feelings about your son, and then maybe you can proceed with doing whatever you want to do with Maggie.
Yeah, maybe. At least I'll have someone else to talk to, right?
Right. So does this seem like it'll help?
I mean, I think so. I didn't realize how much I still missed my son, and that I even missed Maggie at all. It may have sounded like I was blaming her last week, but I think I just need someone to blame.
That's real introspective of you. A lot of people wouldn't realize that or admit it.
Well, when you get to my age, all you really have time to do is think.
Well, then there is something called grief counseling. It could help you understand your feelings more about your son, and maybe give you incentive to talk to Maggie, which you seem to want, a little bit at least.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be helpful. I never thought I would think seeing a shrink is a good idea. So basically, I would go to grief counseling, then regular counseling, then talk to Maggie.
In a nutshell, just keep in mind that counseling can take time and shouldn't be rushed.
I mean, that's fine with me. Like I said, I'm old. All I have is time.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan then.
Does this mean we're not going to talk anymore?
We still talk in these meetings until you get all these services going. I'm not just going to drop you. And our meetings will become less frequent, however, and will eventually stop, though that may be a while off. By then, you'll have more people to work with and talk to.
Okay, that sounds okay. Do you think any of this is going to work?
Yes, but as always, it's what you think.
That's true. Is there anything else you wanted to suggest?
Well, in case you need any extra help in regards to your physical care, there's a resource I can recommend. It's called Senior Living. It's the housing and focusing on the health of people your age.
I was waiting for you to bring up that one.
Well, I wouldn't be much of a social worker if I didn't at least give you the option. Just want to let you know that resource is out there. I mean, I'm sure they'd be able to help you with certain needs that you've requested. I actually even know someone who works over there, so if you're interested, just let me know and I can reach out to her.
Okay. Well, how about I think about it, and I'll let you know how I feel about it next week.
Okay, that sounds good. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not right now. We really already did more than I thought we would.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
Me too.
Okay.
So I'll see you the same time next week, same day?
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you for all of this. It's really helped.
Well, after my second meeting with Anne, I kind of discovered that she did actually want counseling. It seems like it's really helpful. I was a little unsure how accepting she would be of that, just because she was so hesitant about some things in the last meeting, and she was a little bit, the whole shrink thing, but she seemed to be more comfortable this time. So I'm going to look into some agencies, see what works best for her in her current situation. Like she brought up, grief counseling, then regular counseling, then hopefully that'll lead to her talking to Maggie. I gave her the option for senior living. That's all I can really do. Like I said, she's taking care of herself the way the doctor says, but that's still, giving her that option makes me feel a little better, just so she can, use it whenever she wants. So I'm just got to look into those just got to look into those resources, see what I can find as far as counseling goes. My supervisor agreed with me, so that makes things a lot easier. So hopefully by our third meeting, she'll actually started her plan in how to get in touch with Maggie again.